Hello and welcome to another video. In this session we are going to look at HTML tags. But before then, let's see what we are supposed to do at the end of this session. So we are supposed to install an editor that is going to enable us write our HTML codes, okay? And we need a web browser as well, that after writing our HTML codes we can be able to view our HTML document or page that we are going to create. All right, okay. And then we are going to also install one interesting plugin that will speed up our development process. Okay, all right. So then after the installation, we delve in to look at HTML tags, and then we look at how an HTML document is also structured. Then we wrap up and also look at what is next in the series. Having that said, let's look at what we are supposed to install exactly. So we need an editor, like I said earlier, or you can see an IDE, that is Integrated Development Environment. So for the purpose of this tutorial, we are going to be using VS Code, Visual Studio Code. That's the recommended one for this tutorial series. You will also need a web browser. It can be Firefox, Chrome, or whatsoever browser that you think you can work with. That is fine. And also you're going to install live server after we've get installed on our computers Visual Studio Code IDE. So having that said, I'm just going to close this window, then I'll demonstrate to you how you can get the Visual Studio Code and either one of these browsers installed on your laptop so that we can pick it up from there. Okay, so I'm going to search for Visual Studio Code. And normally when you look it up on Google, the first link you're going to see is the original or the official link to the homepage of Visual Studio Code. So as you can see, I have just clicked on that and I'm brought to the homepage of Visual Studio Code. On the left pane here, you can see download for Windows. It means that I'm currently running on Windows machine. So whichever operating system that you are working with, I believe will be stated here for you like that. So you just have to click on download and it should be triggered. So I have already downloaded this on my laptop, and that is why you are seeing that there is a duplicate download request. So I'm just going to cancel this and I'll open another tab and then also search for Firefox browser. And as well as this one too, you just have to select the first link and you'll be brought to the home page of Firefox. So you can just hit on this go to action button here, that is the download Firefox, and then your download should begin as such. All right, you can also look up Google Chrome browser, and then you select this first link here, you'll be good to go. All right, so it's loading. Yeah, so you can see the download button here like that. Automatically it has also detected my Windows that I'm using, or yes, okay, my operating system that I'm working with. It has detected it for me automatically. So you can just hit on the download here, download Chrome, and yes, the download link will be triggered like that. So I'm using IDM, that is Internet Download Manager. So you can see it has grabbed the download process or the download link in order to do the download for me. So I just have to hit download, and as you can see, it is already completed. So you just have to hit on open, and this is the online installer version. Okay, so you have to make sure that your internet is connected for you to finish the installation process. Likewise with the, so you just have to accept this one here. Okay, so it will download. I'm just going to cancel this, all right, because I have already installed it on my machine. So you have to do likewise for the Firefox. Okay, all right, so if you are done with the installation, the downloads of the various files, let me go to my downloads and then go to programs here, and then I'll search for so normally when you download the VS Code, okay, when you download the VS Code, let me go back to the home page and then hit on download here. Okay, so I'm waiting for the download button to trigger. Download process is not starting, and what could be the problem? So let me just hit on this one again and see. Okay, yes, so there's a duplicate. Let me go back to my downloads folder, and I believe that VS Code. Alright, so I think that I've deleted it, but then why would it be giving me that message? Let me click on download once again and hit on this one, and then let me just go ahead and say that I want to overwrite the existing file, and you see that I'm presented with the download screen. So I'll just hit on download, and this process will continue till the download is completed. Alright, so normally when you finish with the download process, when you go into your downloads folder, you should see the setup file there, and then you just have to make sure you execute the file to begin with the installation process. Follow the installation instructions in order to get it installed on your laptops or machines. Okay, so I have already installed it, so you can see this is it, this Visual Studio Code. And for the first time, when you launch Visual Studio Code, you're not going to see things like so. You are going to be presented with a welcome screen and basically how to set up your environment to suit your preference. So as you can see, for me, I have customized my ID, so the look and feel is a bit different. Okay, the look and feel is a bit different. All right, so let's go back to, so my download process is completed like that. So you just have to hit on perhaps open, or you go into your download folder and then you execute the setup file in order to install the file or the application on your laptop. All right, good. Now let's go back and see what we are supposed to do next. Okay, so now that we've been able to get our IDE and then a browser installed on our laptops or machines, let's see how we can install this plugin. Okay, so go ahead and then launch your IDE, that is a Visual Studio Code. Now when you're within the environment, there are so many options available. Okay, there are so many tabs as well, or panels available, but then your number one go-to panel will be this activity bar here. Okay, on your left side, this activity bar here, that will be your number one go-to panel. All right, so here you see that the first one here is your Explorer window, that you can be able to load folders on your laptop into the IDE, or you can be able to clone repositories and so many things that you can do with the Explorer window. Okay, and this is also a search window. This is what a source control. It means that I've installed a plugin that is enabling me to work with source controls. Okay, all right, but then let me just quickly navigate to this one here, the extensions tab. This is what I'm interested in. Okay, so when you are here, whatsoever extensions that you chance upon and you would want to work with, this is where you have to come and then select that. So you have to search up or look up the extension that you want. So we are saying that we want live server, so I'll just have to search live server here, and then I'll be presented with a lot of requests or responses, or results. Okay, so this first one here, you can see this is what I'm going to select. You can see other ones, but we are not interested in those ones. We are interested in the first one. Okay, by rate weekday. Okay, this is what we are interested in. So you are going to hit on install. I have already installed it. So you can see that there is a button for disable and uninstall. So you, for the first time, you are going to see a button called install. So you just have to hit on that and wait for the installation process to complete. Alright. So when you are done with that, it means you are set, and then we can begin to do some interesting stuffs. Alright, so let me go back to the file or the presentation and see what we are supposed to look at next. Alright, so HTML tags. HTML tags. They are the building blocks of HTML document or file. So throughout your HTML journey, you are going to be working with tags. Alright, so you have to bear that in mind. There are also countless HTML tags that are available for specific purposes. So is it image that you want to insert on your page? Is it an audio file? Is it a link? Is it a script? Whatsoever. All those tags that are available for you to work with. Okay. Alright. An HTML tag normally consists of an opening. Yes, so this is how it is done. A less than and a greater than, and a closing tag, which is a less than / and then a greater than. Alright. Now there are few exceptions to this one. We will look at that proper later. Okay. Alright. Now HTML tags. So as you can see, we have this tag here, the opening part, and then the closing part. Okay, we say that when you see this one here, this P within the less than and the greater than, that is the opening part, we are saying that this is a P element, which means a paragraph element, alright, or a paragraph tag. So whenever you implement this in your document, you are trying to say that you want this particular section here or this particular part here to be a paragraph. That is basically what it means. Alright, there are so many tags that we are going to be looking at. So just bear in mind that these are just few ones that we have. Okay, now we have the paragraph, the H1, which is a heading tag. We have the anchor tag, and whenever you implement it, normally these are some of the outputs that you are going to see. So for the paragraph, when you implement it, this is what you are supposed to see as the output, like so. And then the heading tag as well, like that, and the link tag. Okay, now let's continue. We are supposed to know how an HTML document is structured. So before we go into actual code, you have to bear in mind that whenever you have an HTML document, it follows some sort of what? It follows some sort of structure. Okay, follow some sort of structure. So first of all, there is a document type declaration. So always you have to have this tag at the top of your HTML document type declaration. It tells your web browser, okay, that this is an HTML document. So you have to have that at the top of your HTML document. All right, good. If you don't do that, the browsers out there will find it difficult to be able to pass or render your page properly. Okay, so it is essential that you have this in mind. Also, the document itself begins with what? An HTML and ends with a closing HTML tag. So this is the opening HTML tag and this is the closing HTML tag. The visible part of the HTML document is between the body and the opening body tag and the closing body tag. These are all a bit abstract. We're going to look at it proper in codes very soon. Okay, so yes, this is a picture to show you how the document is structured. Okay, an HTML document is structured. Like I said, at the top is supposed to be your document type declaration. Okay, then you would have an HTML opening tag and then a closing tag. So in between the HTML opening tag and then the closing tag goes other tags. Okay, So you can see that there is a head tag which contains information about what your website or your web page, okay, taking into consideration the title, the meta tags, which gives a lot of descriptions about your website, okay. And after the head tag is your body tag. So after the head tag is your body tag. So the body tag is where the page content goes. The things that are going to be more visible on your website, this is where it goes, taking into consideration images, videos, links, and all those things like that goes inside the body tag. All right, good. Okay, so practice time. Good. Let me just exit this window and then go back to our IDE. Now, if you are here, if you've launched your IDE, I'm expected that you should select the first tab here or the first button here on your activity bar. All right, then let's go ahead and just hit on open folder. So let me go to the desktop and just create a folder called, right click and then select new here and then say new folder, and I'll say HTML underscore tags. So I'll select this folder here and the folder will be opened with the IDE. Good. So this is what we are having. Now you can see that inside the Explorer window we now have HTML tag, the folder that we just created, inside of it. Now there are some buttons near or next to the folder. The first one is the new file button, this one is another new folder, and this one is a refresh or reload Explorer, and this one is for collapsing or expanding what the folders that are within this particular folder here. So we are interested in the first one, so let's just hit on that. That is a new file, and then let's say that we want to create an HTML file called tags.html. Then I'll hit enter on my keyboard. Alright, so this is what we are having. Now we've been able to create an HTML file and it is practically blank. Nothing is inside of it. Okay, so first thing first, we are going to look at what we saw earlier, the HTML document structure that we saw earlier. We are going to see how it is presented in actual code. Okay, so on my keyboard I'm just going to hold shift and then the exclamation symbol, which is normally 1 on the keyboard, and then I'll be presented with this here, MS abbreviation. Okay, so if yours is not working, just go into the extensions tab or window and then search for MS abbreviation. I believe you can get it over there, install it, and then you can have MS abbreviation working for you. So I'm just going to select this first option here, and then it has generated automatically for me the basic structure of an HTML document. So let's try to understand what is going on here. So like I said, this document type declaration here is very important. So whenever you do this, you are telling the web browser that is going to render your web page that this is an HTML document, and this one exactly is version 5. This is how they choose to implement it. So whenever you do this, you are telling the web browser that this one here is an HTML document and it is also an HTML version 5 type document. Okay, now this one here, this is the opening HTML tag and this is the closing HTML tag. Now you can see within the opening HTML tag there is an attribute or a property called lang, means language. We are saying that we've set its value to English, meaning that our web page is going to be rendered in English. That is practically the meaning of this one here. Okay, now inside the opening and closing of the HTML tag goes our head tag. Now the head tag contains information that are pertaining to our web page or our website that we are creating. So you can see that there is a meta tag here which takes an attribute that is character set. Okay, now this character set is just an encoding format that is available. You can read more about it if you want to. So we are just telling the system that it should follow the UTF-8 encoding character set. Okay, now with this one too here, this is a compatibility solution that is available. So whenever your web page is rendered, it's more or less like it should be compatible or rendered properly on Internet Explorer, okay, or Edge. That is fine. Now there is another meta tag which is viewport, which takes what a content and then the value is set to width, which is device minus width, and then initial scale, which is what 1.0. What this basically is doing is that whenever your web page is viewed in mobile devices, it should be adjusted so that it looks proper or it's responsive some way somehow on mobile devices. If it is a bigger screen like laptops, whatever screen that comes into mind, this tag here is practically telling it that it should be very responsive, or it should take the device's width and then render your page on it accordingly, okay, so that it wouldn't move out of the device's screen width and then it will look a bit weird or something. Okay, so this tag here, which is the viewport, take the viewport of your device and then make sure that it calculates its width so that your web page will look a bit presentable on it. All right, now this title here is very, very, very crucial. So when you go to Google and then you are seeing Google on the title of the browser, so let's say that we go to google.com for instance. So you can see that here you are seeing Google. Okay, so that is the title of the web page. So this is where you are going to be specifying your title. So for the sake of this tutorial, let me just say that HTML tags, so that would be the title of our web page. All right, let me expand this. Now after the head tag, which is the opening and closing, after that you would have your body tag. Now within the body, this is where contents that are supposed to be displayed for the user to see on your web page goes into. All right, this is where all those elements like images, the videos, the links, the buttons, the forms, what have you, this is where you place all of those content. All right, so the body part is also a very interesting one that needs to be paid attention to. All right, so let's go back to our slide and look at what we are supposed to do next. Okay, now we've looked at the basic structure of an HTML document. Now in the next video, we are going to look at some of the tags that are available for us to use. Okay, but for me to get you, wanting to know more, let me just say that we have a paragraph. Okay, so this will be implemented by opening a less than symbol, and I'll say P and then I'll close it. Now I'm using a plugin called autocomplete tags. Okay, and that is why you saw that when I opened the P tag, it closed it for me automatically. You are not going to be saying that some way somehow, so you'd have to type it all by yourself like that. Okay, good. So inside the P tag, let me just say that I want a random text, so I'll just type lorem and then I'll hit tab on my laptop, on my keyboard, and I'll be presented with a random text placeholder like this one here. Okay, all right, I'm just going to hit on go live here, or better still, let me just right click and then say that open with live server. So that was the essence of the live server plugin that we installed, you will see what will happen very soon. Okay, so it is starting. It has started on port 5500, and now you see that the HTML document of file that we've created and then we punched in a random text as a paragraph has been opened in the web browser for us. So this is my default web browser, so you can see that I'm presented with a paragraph that I punched in over there. Okay, now we are going to end here with code. We are going to do more, right? We are going to look at more of the tags that are available for us, and then we will see how to implement them in the subsequent videos to come. Okay, so what did we do in this session? We install necessary tools that will help us with our development process or journey, and then we got ourselves introduced to some of the HTML tags that are available. We also look at the document structure of an HTML, how HTML document is structured, the basic template or structure of an HTML document. We looked at that, and then we also demonstrated a bit of code where I implemented a p tag, the paragraph tag, for you to see. All right, now in the first in the next session or in the next video, we are going to be creating our first basic web page where we will combine series of tags to be able to achieve that purpose. So that will be it for this tutorial. I'm hoping to see you in the next one. Until next time, I wish you a happy learning. Don't forget to like the video. If you've not subscribed to the channel, to kindly do that. If you have any suggestion, any comments, you can put it right in the comment section. I will attend to it, and then we all keep going like that. Thank you for watching. Bye.